And that would be the band.
Hey, and welcome to a Thursday Collection Connection, where we're playing that game that's just an excuse to talk about records. Eric's last video was about Moon Goose's, see if I can get this in one go. The wax monster lives behind the first row of trees. It was an interesting record. Through most of it, it was instrumental, other than the track Shiny Man, which had kind of just robotic voice saying Shiny Man, I think, every so often. It made me laugh a little bit with all the instrumental tracks, because this is a Welsh band that seemed to be setting this story in Iowa, or setting the album in Iowa. That as I was listening through instrumental tracks, I was thinking, how do you set an instrumental album in Iowa? All these Iowa name tracks, Hawkeye this and Iowa that. But the last two tracks, the next to last track was kind of a more traditional song, I think, with lyrics, and then the very last track was telling this story, sort of with a musical backing. That immediately made me think of a couple of things. Songs like Be My Girl, Sally from the Police, and, oh gosh, what's it called, from the Velvet Underground? The Gift, maybe, where stories are told in a kind of a funny voice style, kind of a panto style, to a musical backing, odd little stories. But I didn't want to make that connection. What I ended up going with was something more surface level, and that is the very long title. The wax monster lives behind the first row of trees. It's 10 words long, and there's not a lot of albums that titles just don't tend to get that long. I looked through hundreds of my own albums and found one longer, 12 words, the classic, The Rise and Fall of Ziggy Stardust and the Spiders from Mars. But I only found one other 10-word title, so I made that my pick, and the album is by Courtney Barnett, and the title is Sometimes I Sit and Think, and Sometimes I Just Sit. There we go. Ta-da! Courtney Barnett. I haven't gotten her newest album yet, and I didn't get her collaboration with Kurt Vile. She started making some noise in our household anyway, when our local radio station started playing the Avant-Gardener. And this album is her first album, but she had released a couple of EPs that got chucked together on a long, it was 2 EPs stuck together, so it was basically album length. And we were sent that by the radio station, our local independent radio station, for being members, and that was called something about Split Peas, Side of Split Peas or something like that, that had that Avant-Gardener. But the follow-up, the first full-length album, really made a splash, and I haven't seen a ton of shows, especially in the last 10 years. I'm not a concert goer, but we did see Courtney Barnett live, and it was a good show. She's great. The album opens with Elevator Operator, which is just a jam. I think it's hard to not like that song. And I think my wife really took to the album overall as well. I didn't get as familiar with it as she did, but I do like the songs. It surprised me that Elevator Operator was apparently not a single, because it is made to be a single. Her style, Courtney Barnett's style of music, tends to be something that finds a pretty quick groove loop and just kind of repeats a riff, a phrase over and over, while it's very much about her lyrics, her kind of ramshackle lyrics delivery. And for the most part, they're pretty good. She's got a good take on things. She's from Melbourne. She definitely sings in her natural accent, kind of a talk sing. She exudes a little bit of that Chrissie Hynde-ness to me. Not that she's quite as cool as Chrissie Hynde, but she is I don't know, seems very relaxed in her storytelling and isn't trying to necessarily convince you of anything. Um, but I don't have a whole lot prepared. I had to turn this around pretty quick and make my connection before I even saw Eric's video. So hopefully the touch points are good. I'm going to try and keep this one quick so I can get it out and schedule it. So once again, 10 word title. Moon Gooses, the wax monster lives behind the first row of trees, and Courtney Barnett's. Sometimes I sit and think, and sometimes I just sit. So I'll give that back to Eric. He should have a fresh connection for you on Monday, and you can keep up with him and me by subscribing to our channels. He is Eric at the Plastic Soundwave Cult, and we will see you next time. Or something. I don't know. This is very bad, but I'm going with it. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.